pathway speech or project. Also level 1, project 4, part 1. So this is the purpose of the project is to give a speech, apply feedback received, make the most of speech evaluations, and then strengthen skills as a speech evaluator. Melissa McGovern is an alcohol-free coach, speaker, and host of the Sober New Yorker podcast. Her work is centered on one simple belief: the life you want is often waiting on the other side of a single courageous decision. Tonight, she'll share the one that changed hers. Melissa McGovern, The Shade of One Decision. The Shade of One Decision, Melissa McGovern.
Thank you, Linda. Toastmasters and esteemed guests, I've got one question for you. What are you waiting for? More confidence? More money? A date on the calendar? We all have something we're waiting for. And for years, I thought waiting meant I was being responsible, that I was preparing, that I was thinking things through. Turns out I was way off. I wasn't waiting. I was afraid. In 2022, I lost my best friend of 27 years. T. Scott died from alcohol addiction. He was 54 years old, the same exact age I am right now. He was funny, brilliant, and the kind of person who made every room brighter just by walking or dancing into it. Losing him completely gutted me. Now, you'd think his death would have been my wake-up call. It wasn't. Instead, I did what I knew how to do. I drank, I ate, I numbed. I convinced myself that if he was gone, I might as well enjoy myself while I was still here. And what started as grief slowly became something darker. I remember waking up some mornings and wondering, what if I just stayed in bed all day? That thought scared the shit out of me. Not because I wanted to stay in bed, but because I had become someone who could imagine that. And that's when I made an appointment with my doctor and admitted to her that I thought I was drinking too much. She didn't judge me or condemn me. We talked about options like support groups or medication to help with cravings. She ordered blood work, and a day later, an email landed in my inbox. I remember reading it over and over. All of my numbers across the board were atrocious. High cholesterol, A1C near diabetic level. I was at my heaviest weight and my liver enzymes were the highest she had ever seen. Then I got to the sentence that I can still recite today. It is very important that you implement drastic behavioral changes. She told me to change my diet, start exercising, and try to stop drinking. She gave me 3 months. If I couldn't turn things around on my own, we had to start talking about medication, a statin, a blood pressure medication, etc. And that was the moment I realized something. I was done waiting. I took the next 3 months to start changing my life. I did all the things she told me to do because I'm a very good rule follower. I also listened to sober podcasts. I read tons of Quit Lit. Those are books about quitting the booze. And I found online communities full of people going through the exact same thing that I was. I walked into my doctor's office 3 months later, a completely different woman. My cholesterol was down 50 points. Blood pressure, liver enzymes, and glucose were all normal levels. I dropped 27 pounds. I left her office, no longer afraid to take action in my life. And here's what I've learned since then. Fear is not the enemy. Fear has an important job. It keeps us from stepping into traffic, and it keeps us from touching a hot stove. It keeps us alive. But somewhere along the line, fear gets confused. It starts treating discomfort like danger. It whispers, "Don't have that conversation. Don't apply for that job. Don't ask for help. Just wait a little longer. The problem is, waiting doesn't make fear smaller. It makes our lives smaller. There's a proverb often attributed to ancient Chinese wisdom that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. In 25 days, I will celebrate 3 years of sobriety. 3 years ago, I planted one tree. Today, I'm standing in its shade, and it's still growing. That shade is way more than my sobriety. It's my coaching business and my podcast. It's my retreats. It's my dance classes. It's New York Toastmasters. It's showing up as a more present partner and parent. My tree's shade is the badass woman sitting here in front of you right now. And here's what she knows. Every single person in these squares has a tree to plant. Maybe you've convinced yourself you're waiting for the right time. Maybe you're waiting until you feel more confident. Maybe you're waiting until life gets less busy, the kids get older, the money is there, and the fear finally disappears. But what if the thing you've been calling waiting is really just fear asking for one more day? Because here's the truth I've learned. The life you're hoping for doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins the moment you decide to begin. 3 years ago, I had no idea that one decision would lead me here speaking in front of you all tonight. I simply planted a tree. And every day since then, I've watered it. Planting the tree is not the finish line, it's the beginning. Tomorrow, you'll water it. The next day, you'll water it again. And one day, you'll look around at your life and realize you're standing in the shade of a decision you almost didn't make. Toastmasters and guests, I got one more question for you. Who's ready to do some digging? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Very powerful. We all have trees to plant and start digging. Don't wait. Love it. Thank you so much. Please, everyone, go to the form. Hopefully you still have it open. If you don't, please look in the chat again.